When I coach executive leadership teams all the time, and look, you got a lot of Type A leaders in the business world and in corporate world, and a lot of people who are driving really hard. A lot of founders are this way. They want they're 100% invested in their company and the success of that company. And what I tell people all the time is they're not the people on your leadership team are not in 100% alignment with you on exactly what they're going to achieve if they pour their souls into this. Hopefully they're 100% aligned with what they specialize in within the company, or the areas of responsibility within the company, but those are different from your goals, right? And if you can achieve 91% alignment with your executive team, that's going to be better than most executive teams, because and you can see the crew boat on the poster over my shoulder. I rode crew as an undergraduate in college, and you got 8 guys in a crew boat, and the only way that boat moves with any speed and any momentum is if guys are in complete sync with each other, guys or girls. And they've got to be timing when they put their oar in the water at exactly the same moment. They've got to be recovering on the sliding seat at the same rate. They've got to be pulling with the same efficiency. And if you can get all that balanced and in sync, then you can really make that boat go. If you don't get it balanced and in sync, the boat's going to be tipping back and forth. People are going to be banging their oars on top of the water or skying them up in the air, and the boat won't move through the water with any efficiency. And so that's the animating kind of analogy that I use, or metaphor that I use to coach executive teams, because the coxswain, the little guy or girl who sits in the front of the boat and coaches them, is the person who tries to get everybody in alignment and rowing together. And it's really hard. So I any executive team that can move with 91% efficiency, that's a huge win, because most people want to pull in their own direction and want to set their own goals and move the way that they want to move. And any team that you can get to move together with that kind of alignment is going to be successful. So that's a win.
That's why I'm an entrepreneur, because that's me. I'm the one that's wanting to pull my own direction. I like that's why, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, for those of you that are listening, if you're working in corporate America and you find yourself trying to like go against the grain all the time, okay, like you might be an entrepreneur in disguise. You know what I'm saying? You might want to look at, starting your own thing or starting a side hustle and eventually making the escape from corporate America, because it just wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always constantly questioning things, like, well, I don't know about that. Can we do it this way? Let's do it that way. Let me try this way. Blah, 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 blah. Cause I have a very creative mindset. Like I'm always looking for a better way, constantly. And so, when they're like, it's done this way and this is the way it's always been done and we got to do it this way, I'm like, why? I've always been that guy. That's always been me. Let me try, let me try this. Let me try that. And so if that's you and you're listening to this right now and you're that against the grain kind of a person, you've got that kind of mindset, you might be an entrepreneur, right? And you might want to check that out,
Absolutely. No, I tell my wife, and it drives her a little crazy sometimes, but I left my last corporate job in 2017, and that was after I started my career as a journalist, and then I worked for several financial services firms. But I got to a point, we'd been successful enough with what we did with F3 where I felt comfortable kind of going out on my own, and I said to my wife a couple of times, I'm an outdoor cat now. I'm not. You're not going to be able to keep me indoors.
Put you back in the cage.
Yeah,
put
exactly.
you back in the cage. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's a cage, in my opinion. But hey, some people do well in the corporate world, and that's totally cool. That's totally cool. It's not. Being an entrepreneur is not for everybody. Being a business owner, not for everybody. There's lots of ups and downs, and you got to weather some storms, and some people are meant I look at it like this. You have creators and you have consumers, right? And you just have to know what you are, right? And accept it. And it's okay to be one or the other. It's all right. Are you creating things for the marketplace, or are you consuming things in the marketplace? What are you doing? Me personally, I'm a creator. I like to create. That's why we're doing stuff like this. So anyways, but let's move to, I want to talk about your journey with your stroke in 2022. That, I'm sure that had to be very challenging. I remember my great aunt actually passed from a stroke. She had two strokes, and the second one was the one that did her in. And but yeah, I know it's hard. And can you tell me a little bit about the recovery and like what you learned from that process of going through that? I mean, you look great now, so